Hi everybody, this is Miss Cox, and today we're going to go through the challenge called Smiley Face, which it almost seems cruel. Look at that smiley face, he's so happy, but this is actually kind of a tough challenge. So let's walk through it together. To get started, we need to, start off by creating a SmileyFace constructor that stores center X and center Y. So basically, instead of this, we're going to be making something a little different up here. So var smiley face, we're going to be using this over here, equals function. So I'm creating a function, and the two pieces in the function that I want are these, center X and center Y. So I'm going to put center X, comma, center Y. Then I have my little curly brackets. And inside there, instead of just putting center X and center Y like that, we're going to put this, actually I'll indent, this period center X equals center X. I know it's weird that it's equal to center X, but just go with it. This dot center Y is equal to center Y. And I forgot, I need semicolons there. And I need a semicolon at the end. So what I've done so far is I basically have created this object type, which will allow me to basically kind of create different smiley faces in the future with a little work. So the next step, now that we've created this object constructor, we need to use it to make a face and pass that face into the draw function. So let's take a look over here at what it's saying. So we need to make a new variable, it looks like, and it's going to be equal to new smiley face, because it basically is telling us we're going to create a new instance of this. And what we're going to do is this, we're basically going to be turning into a new instance. So I'm just going to rewrite this, face object equals, and then instead of having this written out separately, I'm going to put down new smiley face. So I'm using this object that I just created, parentheses, and then my center X that I want is 100, and my center Y that I want is 100. Close my parentheses, semicolon. Now, we don't need this anymore, so we're going to delete that. Beautiful. Next step, let's see what it says to do. The key to understanding this next section is we're going to be creating a method. And if you remember from the last video, a method is basically when we're adding on a piece after our object. So we put smileyface.prototype.draw. We're basically like doing this special thing where we're telling it to do something special when you put that period and then draw on the end. And in this case, we want it to draw. So what we're going to do is basically we're going to be switching this whole section of the text. So before I do that, let me separate it out a little bit. And what I'm going to do is instead of drawing the smiley this way, we're basically just changing the way we draw it. We're going to draw it using smileyface.prototype.draw. And we'll make that equal to the function. And basically this stuff is going to go inside the function. So I'm going to move it over. Now, the problem is, and it tells me right here, I'm still using face object. And remember, we don't need to use that. We're using this new function that we created. So this, let me see. So here where it says face object, now that we have this object type created, we instead use this. Because you're saying like for the current one, this, and you got to do that for all these face objects. This. Now, I've created this, I've said I've made this, but I have to call that function. Down here, so basically we need to get rid of this old draw. So we recreated it up here, so we're going to delete this. And then right up here, this is where we're creating our face object. I'm going to move that down because this is a little confusing. Right now, I've basically created my object type, and then after that I've created the method for that object type. So I'm going to move that up to the top. Then I'm going to create this face object. But we're not using this draw smiley face object thing anymore. Instead, we're using face object dot draw, because we're calling on this object and we're basically saying this is the method we want to use. We don't need to pass anything, see, there's nothing passed here. And then just press semicolon and it should work. Woohoo, it worked. Yay. I wasn't sure there for a minute. So let's look at the next step. The next step is the speak method. So instead of a draw method, we're going to make a method that says speak. So same kind of thing. We're going to make this same line. So I'm just going to copy and paste it underneath. So we're putting smileyface.prototype.speak is equal to function, and then we need to make the function. What's going in there? Well, we're going to put text there. So let's go ahead and put text and parentheses, and we need to think about what text is going to go in there. We want, I'm not sure what the word should be. For now, I'm just going to put words. Maybe hi. I don't know. Maybe he just says hi. Hello. Comma. And then we want to tell it the position. So we'll use that this dot center x and this dot center y, or center y. Okay, let me think. Does that make sense? So I'm saying to basically draw this text, but here's the problem. My hello is not defined. So I'm gonna have to think about that. Before I move on, let me do some thinking about what, basically I need to define this somewhere or say what this is. And right now there is nothing about speaking yet. So I think I'm gonna need to create a new variable. Before I move on, let me think about that. Okay, I'm back. It took me a minute to figure that out, but if I look up here, it's basically telling me I'm creating this. So hello, or maybe I want to change it to words. I'm putting that here in the parentheses of the function because I'm going to tell it, when I call this function, I'm going to tell it what to say. So let's take a look. I've done this. Now I need to call it. So down here, I've got var, let's see if I can move this so you can see both. So next up, we want to call this new piece, and we did this. And then after that, we have face draw, but I changed mine instead of to face object. So I've got face object and face object draw. And then now I'm going to put face object dot speak. And then inside the parentheses, this is where I need to actually type what he's going to say. So maybe I want him to say, hello there, hello. Oh, lovely. Only downside is now it's kind of in the middle. So let's go to the next step and see what it says. Now make more smileys using your smiley face object at different locations with different messages. I bet you guys out there can probably try this out. And this is the last step. All you're doing is you're creating new variables. So instead of just variable face object, let's call this, I'll put var face2 is equal to new smiley face, parentheses, and we'll call this one at like 300, 300. And then down here, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to copy and paste this, but instead of drawing face obj, I'm going to call it face 2, and then here face 2. So the only downside is apparently it doesn't like that they're the same message, so maybe I should change that. So how about hello to you too? Oh, you can't see all of that. How about hi there? There we go. Look at how friendly my little faces are. So hopefully this helps you go through this process. in the end, this still looks pretty complicated, but if you get rid of this section here and just kind of hide it, the code's not as confusing to look at. We're drawing the pieces down here. We're drawing the face and then drawing the message. We're creating the two faces here with the positions. And then up here, we basically set up the method for what to do when it speaks, what to do when it draws, and then up here on the top, we set up the object type. So with that, hopefully that helps you understand a little bit better. There's one more challenge to go after this, so hopefully you're feeling pumped.